Well, shoot, I did it again. I played a game that I didn't know was a demo. Hey there, it's TigerShark here again with Okano. I'm writing another deep dive script that I thought I'd have done this week, but nope. So I tried to find a small game to do a quick video on. I picked Chromosome Evil without doing any research on it. It does have a full release on Steam, but I didn't realize the Game Jolt version is a demo. Oh well, let's talk about it. So I suppose you could call it like a top-down survival horror sorta something. Yeah, I thought I was gonna come up with something better than that, oh well. Anyway, it's a zombie apocalypse and you have to try to survive. The setup is a little more complex than that. How about I just read the intro? It was a beautiful spring day. Nobody knows the exact order of events during that day, but what they do remember is that all of a sudden the sky turned dark. All cell phones and televisions were somehow hijacked by an unknown force, and were sending only one message. The Ancient One is coming. Followed by a collapse of satellite communication network and a total blackout. Then, there was a great moment of silence, and soon after, they came. They came from below the earth, digging their way out. At first, just worms that spread an infection, which triggered an incubation to occur inside the human brain. And in time, the newborn worm, from within, would devour the brain and take control of the host body, with specific desires to infect others and consume flesh. The lack of network communications, along with this global pandemic, caused by the worms, was too much for the forces on Earth. One by one, governments fell. Humans were forced to group into strongholds. Human civilization fell in a dark age in a matter of days. You are a part of what remains of army forces. Your brother, the one who took care of you when your parents died, was also part of the army, and went missing during a mission a few miles from where you are stationed, with the objective to gather information about one of these underground holes from where these creatures are coming. You decide that if the world is going to end, at least to do one last journey of redemption to see your brother one more time. So the first impression I have is that the grammar needs a lot of work. That was legitimately hard to read in some places. I did my best to try to clear it up. But anyway, I enjoy the gameplay. You control two soldiers as you proceed with your mission. You can kinda decide how you want to play the game by setting your second soldier as either a medic, an engineer, or another pure fighter. This can make a big difference as the medic can heal you if you have the resources. The soldier just adds a lot of firepower, and the engineer can build barricades. In the demo, I never got any more troops. I don't know if that's just how it is, or if I missed the option somewhere. But the gameplay is pretty simple. You have a certain number of action points you can use each day. You can use those points to explore areas for resources, but you have to spend them wisely since you only have a limited number. Once you run out, you have to proceed with the main mission. You have 7 days until the final confrontation, whatever that is. I haven't gotten there, since I only played the demo. It seems like the points of interest are procedurally generated to some extent, and every time you enter one there's a chance for a random encounter where you have to make a decision which can have both good and bad consequences. The game is surprisingly hard. When you go into an area, you have to balance looting supplies with surviving waves of enemies. You have to decide if it's worth sticking around for another crate of materials or food or whatever, because you're going to end up spending more ammo the longer you stay. And if you don't have a medic, you're in a lot of trouble if you get hurt. I actually failed a few times and had to restart because I wasn't paying enough attention. As you progress, you can level up your soldiers, which gives you a much better chance of survival. And you have to pay attention to your morale and the threat level of some areas. Supposedly there can be tougher enemies, but I only encountered regular zombies. I'll be honest, I think this game is really good, and I have to actually nitpick a little to find any negatives. The grammar in the beginning was obviously one. I also felt like I should be finding new squad members, or at least have the ability to switch them to a different class. Maybe you can in the full release, I don't know. Okay, I'm tired of writing this review. This is the end of the video. That's all for this one, and as always, I hope you have a spectacular day. I have other channels and projects that I would love for you to check out. I have a second channel called Drawing with TigerShark, where I have a variety of drawing content. I have an EP on Spotify called 5,555 Miles as my one-man band called Power Mouse. And finally, I have a clothing brand called Studio Duck Apparel featuring original artwork that I create myself. The links to these things will all be in the description.